Hello everyone, myself Charmi Karya, welcoming you all in our YouTube channel of KR Doshi Group of Colleges. Today I am going to deliver my lecture for the students of BCom Semester 6. In this video, we are going to learn very important chapter of corporate account, amalgamation of companies. Amalgamation of companies. This chapter is considered as the most complicated chapter by the students. I know it is bit difficult chapter and bit complicated and lengthy, but don't worry, we will go slowly in this chapter and we'll try to cover with the base, so you will not feel that much difficult in this chapter. Okay, so now let's start the video. Let's try to understand what is amalgamation. You can see the meaning of amalgamation written over here. It is very simple. In an amalgamation, two or more companies are combined into one by merger or by one taking over the other. I am repeating, in an amalgamation, two or more companies are combined into one by merger or by one taking over the other. So you may get a question, why two companies join together? Why do they combine together? The answer is to secure various advantages, like that is economies of large scale production. If the companies get amalgamated, then the production will be at large scale, isn't it? So, of course, if the production is at large scale, they will have large benefits, right? And second one is avoiding competition altogether by taking over such companies, right? And also to increase efficiency and expansion purpose may also be there behind amalgamation, right? So these motives can be there behind amalgamation. So amalgamation means to become one through merger or by taking over the other. Now let's discuss three activities under this chapter amalgamation. There are three ways under amalgamation. See here, I want to classify this chapter into three activities, that is amalgamation, second one is absorption, and third one is external reconstruction. So now you are going to understand these three activities one by one, because you may ask theory question in MCQ or 1 mark question from these, right? To understand amalgamation, see here, amalgamation is nothing but merging two into one. These two terms you can use synonymously, merger and amalgamation. Alright, here what happens is, let's take this example to understand. Here, company A is going to lose its existence and company B is also lose its existence. They will be liquidated and the new company will be formed. These two companies will be combined together to become one with the new name AB Limited, or with any name, not necessary, here it is AB Limited. These two companies will lose their existence to become part of a new company. This is what is amalgamation, that is merging of two companies, right? Now we have absorption. Now what do you mean by absorption? Here it is very simple. Let's take this example to understand. See, there are two companies, one big company and one small company. P is a small company and Q is a big company. One company is getting absorbed by another company. I repeat, one company is getting absorbed by another company. So here this P company will be liquidated. It is becoming part of Q company. Okay. So P company will lose its core existence to become part of a Q company. Q is not a new company. Both of these are existing company only. But one company is getting liquidated in another company. Okay? That is what is mean by absorption, right? P company will dissolve in Q company and Q company will absorb P company. Do you want to take practical example? You everybody know WhatsApp has been absorbed by Facebook. Okay, you can Google it up. And Hutch company had been absorbed by Vodafone company. So you must be clear what is absorption. Now let's see what is external reconstruction. Let's understand by example. External reconstruction is very simple. Let's say there was a company ABC Limited. ABC Limited, there was a fraud in this company or something happened in this company. So now there was a bad reputation of ABC Limited. So what they can do is they can do external reconstruction. So what is external reconstruction? External reconstruction is liquidating old company. Yeah. It is being shut down and a new company will be formed with the same shareholder of ABC Limited. That it will be with a new name PQR Limited. That is most important thing. So now here what is happening? Here ABC Limited will lose its existence and new company will be incorporated with the same shareholder named PQR Limited. One practical example of external reconstruction, that is, first it was UTI Bank. That UTI Bank has become Axis Bank. You know Axis Bank, before it was UTI Bank. So this is external reconstruction. They liquidated the UTI Bank and now they have incorporated Axis Bank, right? So this is external reconstruction. So we saw three different ways of amalgamation. Here first is amalgamation, second one is absorption, and third one is external reconstruction. Don't worry, all these three are same in accounting. Accounting treatment of all these three activities are same. But you should know the basic difference between them, fine? And it is very simple. So don't worry, I hope you guys are getting me. Let's we have an overview of this chapter. So by now, I'm sure you must have understood that there are two point of view of this chapter. Yeah, one is the point of view of the companies which are getting liquidated, and one is the point of view of the companies that are into existence. In this chapter amalgamation, you cannot use these terms old company, new company. Here, what you can use is, you can use technical terms transferor company for the old company and transferee company for the new company, right? These two terms are used for the old company and new company. And also there are many other names. For old company you can say vendor company, and you can also say selling company because it is being sold to the new company, right? And for the new company you can call purchasing company. So there are various terms for them. But the most common and the most technical term used in this chapter amalgamation, that is transferor company and transferee company. So now you must have understood that there are two accounting treatment over here. One is the accounting treatment under vendor company books, under transferor company books, and one accounting treatment under transferee company books. Okay, so here what happening, transferor company, this company is being sold off to the transferee company. This company is purchasing the transferor company. So, of course, purchasing company has to pay to the owners of the vendor company, right? It has to pay something, and that something, that price which transferee company has to pay to the transferor company, it is called as purchase consideration. Purchase consideration. Fine. It is called purchase consideration. Now, this transferee company to whom it will pay these consideration to the owner of the transferor company. Now, we are the owners of the transferor company. Who are the owners? The owners are equity shareholders and preference shareholders. Okay, as the case may be, equity shareholders are the first owner and the second owners are the preference shareholders. So this is what purchase consideration. Purchase consideration can be in the form of cash, in the form of shares, in the form of debentures, or it can be in form of any other securities. Okay, so it doesn't always have to be in form of cash, right? So that is purchase consideration. So here in transferee company, here the main amalgamation is happening. So the accounting standard 14 is applicable to the transferee company, and in the books of transferor company we have to close these books. So the transferor company is getting liquidated. So here the liquidation proceedings are applicable. Fine. What do you mean by purchase consideration? Purchase consideration means the aggregate of the shares and other securities issued and the payment made in form of cash or other assets by the purchasing company to the shareholders of the selling company. We discuss the various methods for calculating purchase consideration. There are mainly these three methods of purchase consideration. First, lump sum method, second one, net payment method, and third one, net asset method. Lump sum method is actually not a method for calculating purchase consideration, because in this method the amount of purchase consideration is already given in the question. Okay, what are we paying to the owners of the transferor company is already given in your problem. So this is lump sum method. So it's not a method at all. So these two methods are used to calculate purchase consideration, net asset method and net payment method. Let's start with the net payment method. The agreement between the selling and purchasing company may specify the exact amount payable to the shareholders of the selling company in form of cash, shares or debentures in purchasing company. So in net payment method, we have to consider whatever that is given to the owners of the vendor company. Owners may be equity shareholders or preference shareholders. What can be given is, it may be in form of cash, shares or debentures. You have to add up all of that. That would be net payment method. And then we have net asset method. See, in net asset method, what do we do is, you just subtract agreed value of assets taken over minus agreed value of liabilities. You will have to take market value of assets and ignore fictitious assets. And if the market value is not available, then whatever available agreed value or book value you can consider for calculation, right? And then you are going to deduct external liabilities. Yeah, don't deduct preference share capital, equity share capital or reserves. They are not liabilities, they are capital of the company, so they will not be deducted at all. and just after deducting that you will get purchase consideration. That's it. So this is how you will calculate purchase consideration. These two are very simple methods. Now let's we go to the accounting treatment. This is most important thing as per your exam point of view. As you know, there are two point of view in the books of transferor company or vendor company, and second one is in the books of purchasing company, or you can say transferee company. You may ask to calculate sums as per any point of views. So you need to go through with the both. If you are asked to calculate in the books of vendor company, you need to pass winding up journal entries and you have to prepare such ledgers. Here in the books of vendor company, you are going for liquidation. So you need to prepare realization account, equity shareholders account, cash or bank account, and purchasing company, or you can say new company account. While in the books of purchasing company, they are going to start their new business. So they will pass such opening journal entries as well as they will prepare new balance sheet. Here we have 8 easy steps to prepare ledgers in the books of vendor company. Vendor company is going for liquidation, that we must have to take in our mind. So you will have to pass winding up journal entries, and then depending upon the journal entries you will have to calculate your question, right? So first of all we have to prepare working note to calculate net asset, and then we will have to calculate purchase consideration. We have already discussed how to calculate purchase consideration, right? And then you need to prepare such ledger accounts like realization account, cash or bank account, equity shareholders account, preference shareholders account, and the new company, or you can say purchasing company account. After preparing such accounts, your actual answer will start. You will have to transfer your old balance sheet with the book value itself to the respective accounts. First, if cash and bank balances are taken over by the purchasing company, then transfer it on the debit side of realization account. And if they are not taken over, then carry forward it on the debit side of cash account, right? Point number B, transfer all the fixed and current assets to the debit side of realization account and transfer all the third party liabilities to the credit side of realization account. Point C, all the fictitious assets like share and debenture discount, preliminary expenses, the debit balance of profit and loss account, all we have to transfer on the debit side of equity shareholder account, and all the reserves and surpluses to the credit side of equity shareholders account. And last point, equity share capital, preference share capital, they are not liabilities. So it will be transferred to the credit side of shareholders account. Then we need to pass two journal entries and their effects to the respective accounts. It will be of when purchase consideration becomes due and when it receives. Here, the vendor company is closing their business, so they will dispose of the assets and liabilities which are not taken over. And liquidation, or you can say realization expenses, may also be occurred. So, journal entries should be passed. At last, they will close entire accounts, and the result of realization account, whatever it may be, profit or loss, transfer to the equity shareholders account because they are the owners of the company. And ultimately, the shareholders account will be closed with the cash or bank balances and the settlement. These 8 steps will be cleared entire accounting treatment in the books of vendor company. I hope you will be cleared what is amalgamation, how it works, and their accounting treatments. If you liked my video, please share with your friends and subscribe our YouTube channel. We will meet again with a new topic. Thank you. Stay safe, stay home.